Hi there, Canucks and friends, and welcome to this special edition of the Canucks Cafeteria's Chronicles. First off, hi Dan, how are you?
Hi, Ben. I'm good. What about you?
I'm doing great, thank you. And today we have a special guest, Barbican Observer. So hi there, how are you?
Hey, good evening. I've been fighting my computer today, but other than that, pretty good. Hope everybody's good too.
Yeah, I hope you're winning.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, first off, Barbican, could you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm a long-time Eve player. I've been learning English because I'm actually a French person. I've been learning English through Eve, and I've been doing that on and off for the last 15 plus years, something like that, around. I've been a big fan of Wormhole. I've done the classic round trip of the galaxy, a little bit of low sec, a little bit of high sec, a whole bunch of high sec, a bunch of wormholes when it came out, and then null sec, and now I'm back to special wormhole space.
Yeah, so you got our attention on Reddit, and you're also on the forums concerning, a really interesting project with Drifter. Can you talk to us about that project, please?
So, the Barbican Observatory is something I've been putting on the back burner for a long time because it was a lot of work. It used to be less work because Drifter wormholes used to have only 20 somewhat connections to the rest of the Eve cluster. It's now got 60, meaning that it's basically my favorite bit. It's grated cheese with holes in it everywhere. And there's 5 of them, and the corporation I'm heading right now has the ambitious objective of mapping these connections daily, if possible, more often than that, and making the information available to anybody willing to use it. We're thinking on the scale of one system, and then later on, if the system has a success or it gains interest, providing service across more Drifter systems.
That's pretty neat. So, actually, you're speaking about like a wormhole drifter. Drifter's wormhole. Sorry. What are those actually for those that never went into one of those?
Well, they're a special flavor. They've got a little bit of extra danger. They've got a little bit of extra barrier to entry, but also a bit less barrier to entry. If you're roaming high sec, theoretically, you should be every now and then, depending on where you go, you should see Jove observatories in known space. And in these systems that have a Jove observatory, there sometimes spawns unknown wormhole beacons. If you warp to this beacon, you might be greeted by either a wormhole and drifters or lancers. And this is all you have to do to get into a drifter wormhole. Once you get in, there might be a slightly different story. Less ease of access. You have to launch your probes and grind the good old scanning.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Well, drifter wormholes are special, but we can get into that as you feel like.
Yeah, okay.
And what's the difference between the wormhole normal, like we know C1 to 5, and those drifter wormholes?
So the main difference is that these drifter systems, they connect mostly to known space, and their statics go to wormhole space. They've got all statics, so 1 through 6. One of them per class, and so the whole 6 systems, the whole 6 statics are each going to a class of wormhole, and that is the same for all 5 drifter systems. The other difference is that there is no other things. Drifter wormholes, drifter systems are just wormholes all day, every day. There's no relic, there's no gas. There's a little bit of PvE to be had, mostly in the form of the combat beacon that and the gathering the elements for the
booster and
yes. I didn't want to say the bad word.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So like those things that used to do to make like special boosters, and also the Entosis links that are only found in those Nexus event in the drifter space. Nice.
And I think you said, like in French interview, that we cannot incur anything in Drifter Wormhole.
Cannot incur what?
Anything. Like you can.
Oh, anchoring. Yes. So you can anchor a mobile depot and you can anchor a mobile tractor unit. But other than that, and maybe the secure containers, you can't put a pause down. You can put a citadel down because it's drifter space. They won't let you do that. But also the planets are shattered. Might not very help. It's a little bit hard when you got no planet to work off to anchor things.
Yeah, well, like shattered wormholes are like they have like the same rules of no anchoring whatsoever.
Exactly like that.
Those little exceptions there. Nice. And also, I think when you warp to like a drifter wormhole, it's not like any other anomaly that you get into a range of 3 kilometers from the said wormhole. It's different, right? How is it different?
You play easy mode, then hard mode. You land far away, and then you have to either burn or slow boat. Slow boat if you're cloaked. Burn and run for your life if you don't have a cloak. If there's a drifter patrol around, you might be better off warping off. That is for both sides of the wormhole. In K-Space, the drifter patrols are sort of random. They warp around the system, they go to a station, a gate, but they stay in system. And sometimes when they warp to the anomaly in K-Space is the beacon, so they warp at 0 on the beacon, and then they start to slowly make their way 80 kilometers far to the drifter wormhole. And when they do that, if you show up on grid and you're not cloaked, they'll just snap back at you and then run towards you. If they're almost on the hole and you're cloaked, they'll just pretend to jump through, and if somebody were to look on the other side, when they do that, they just don't respawn. So there's no patrols on the wormhole on the drifter side of the wormhole, and on the drifter side there is also this restriction that if the wormhole's 80 kilometers away and you warp at 0, you will have to burn the 80 kilometers.
Okay.
You could try to warp around the system and warp at range, but that's a complicated exercise to make it a precise landing.
Okay, but those are with the anomalies, but can you save a bookmark on the wormhole itself and land at 0 on the hole as you do with any other kind of wormholes?
You could save a bookmark, but warping to the bookmark you just made that is on the wormhole at 0 would just land you on the signature or the beacon. And that is because there is on both sides a dead space pocket. So if you're going from known space to a drifter wormhole, this is what you'll get. If you're going from a Noikis to a drifter wormhole, it's just normal wormhole mechanics. You land 5 kilometers away.
Nice. Okay, so those are interesting mechanics because they do give you access to a lot of connection, and we know that some groups with the initiative, for example, are using those a lot.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen other people. They don't want to talk about it. They're trying to be sneaky. They think I don't see them on my D-scan.
Yeah. Nice. So where were we?
So recruit. I think we are about the recruitment wise. Do you want like people who are exclusive non-PvP, like the Signal Cartel?
Yes. So because we're trying to provide a service to the entirety of EVE community, and we're considering providing this information free of charge, some people would say, "Oh, they just want to steal my loot and destroy my things." And so to show goodwill in that endeavor, we provide the bookmarks. We try and make the work ahead of time, so you don't have to scan all 60 wormhole to have the the panel of choice at your fingertips. And if you were to start in shooting at people, especially in drifter space, but more generally anywhere we find people, if we started shooting at you, it wouldn't be good practice. And so if I'm providing a service to you, I don't want to be shooting at you. This would be counterproductive on so many levels. So yes, just like Signal Cartel, we do not shoot at you unless shot at first. And there is also ethics, because if that includes lying or deceiving. If I tell you, oh yeah, there's a bookmark, and then you can find a wormhole and it's not exactly there, or like I try to provide to you something that is erroneous, that this diminishes the trustworthiness of the
organization itself. Okay, nice. So content-wise, for like, let's say your member, what type of player would fit your project?
We're fairly welcoming, mostly because nobody's interested in just scanning. So if you're interested in not shooting people and doing a whole bunch of scanning and accessing places, new places every day, this would be a pretty good start. Another one is being able to scan. You don't have to be very proficient at scanning to begin with, but it is in a sense for your medical health, and I say that because I've hurt myself scanning so much. For your medical health, it is recommended that you have good scanning skills. So we don't so much require you to have scanning skills. We strongly encourage you to have good scanning skills in your character and in your person, knowing how it works. And I don't mind training people for that, because I love teaching and I love learning. So every time I talk with people about drifter wormholes, because I'm a nerd like that, I learn something or I try to teach something, and that includes a new player that would be joining the corporation. Maybe we can, figure out a way for you to understand how to hop a system and then go run the relics in the nullsec system that is connected, or maybe you've never huffed any gas. And because we have a C6 that is constantly connected to us, maybe today you want to go and check out the C6 in your little venture and huff some gas, maybe.
Nice.
And I know you're speaking in French and in English. Are you looking for people who are bilingual, or just English people? It's good for you too.
I have absolutely no problem with English-speaking people. English-speaking people, I've learned English in EVE, and French is just my first language. These days, I'm having don't let it attract you, but I'm having almost more trouble speaking French than I do speaking English, because I speak English so much. So I welcome everybody. I've learned a couple of languages, traveled, so I've even been to Canada, so
Nice.
So yeah, to be honest, I hearing it like in French you had like less vocabulary than in English, and you usually I don't want to be like bitching the other side of the sea, but usually people from France are not that good in English. So I'm just like, oh, that's interesting, really. So yeah, good job. You learn well.
I hope to get proficient in Canadian speak too, but that will take some time. I'm working on it.
Sorry.
I know it's because of me. Like I have a big accent in French. Much people understand me more in English than French.
So long we can understand each other, it's all that matters, even if it takes a little bit of time,
Yeah.
So back to the recruitment, what are like, let's say, the basis of like someone that is like, let's say, newer to Eve, the requirement, like you need to have at least this to consider joining?
Well, would recommend maybe any racial frigate to level 3, maybe 4. That would be comfortable. Ideally, you'd have any racial frigate to 5, and my personal favorite is the Anathema, because it gives you scan deviation bonuses. That means that the signature tend to run away less from you, and so if you're an Omega, just basic ship is any scanning frigate with a cloak on it, and then if you're an Omega, you probably already have scanning skills, but I'd recommend boosting them up to all 4 of them to level 4. And if you're really planning on scanning a whole bunch, I'd just recommend maxing Covops. But that's just, it's not the minimal requirement. If you can scan and you can either go very fast to not get caught or cloak, that would be the base. If you're an Alpha, would have a slightly more stringent requirements, but you can't train skills past, I think it's level 3, and some skills are, I think, flat out disabled. Some modules are not available to you, and I think there's one scanning augmentation module for the mid slot that is not usable by the alphas. But other than that, classic good old scanning, ship, and fitting.
Good. I got another question that actually didn't have in French. It's concerning, like, let's say, more drifter holes mechanic. How much mass can we get through those? Are those all the same? Meaning, like, can I get like a battleship fleet through those, or is it like only, like, let's say, I can only get frigates? So what's the amount of mass that I can get through?
The statics, they're classic, normal C1 through 6, and the inbound class for a Barbican is C2, or drifter wormholes in general. So any wormhole that goes to from a C2 to any other class, you will already know. For example, C3 would be 0477. C2 would be D382, and these are the classic, high sec, sort of standard mass. You can pass a whole bunch of frigates through. You can pass up to, I think, if I'm not mistaken, orcas. But that might put a little bit of strain on the
either like 2 or 3 million mass for those, and for those that are like in the constellation to all the 60 other wormholes, what do their mass look like?
If you'll allow me, I'll send a shout out to wormholetype.info, WHTYPE.info. They have a very good presentation on this, and I'll just read off from there because I don't know all the numbers by heart. But in this case, if you want to go from a Jove Observatory system to one of the drifter wormholes, it would be 750 million kilograms and up to battleships. So that would include, yes, Orca, up to Orca sized.
Nice. So people, you'll be able to get like this the link in the description. By the time, could you just send it to me so that
Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to be quite interesting to have a look at, because strategically wise, being able to go in any let's say constellation in the game at some point, once, like, let's say the project would be complete with the 5 drifter wormholes, that would be a really, really strong strategic advantage for people to get out of those systems. Nice.
If I can correct you, eventually get to any constellation, because not all constellations have at all times an open connection to a drifter system.
Yeah, indeed. They
There's
do
way
have like
more.
one observatory, but it's not all the observatory that are active at the same time.
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay, back to the questions. Sorry. Finance wise, how is your project sustainable?
It is not exactly sustainable at the moment, but it also lasts forever, because anything times or divided by 0 is basically 0. We're recruiting, if you don't know, and for now it's just me, so I don't pay myself. But if people are interested in participating, and joining, for example, joining the corp would be, we would make use of corporation management projects and pay you on a per hole scan basis. And we have budget to run that, so to run one system for 2, something like that, month, until we my personal finances run dry.
Okay. Actually, you spoke about like a way that people can like support this project. So let's say that I'm not let's say willing to join you as a pilot, but I find the activity really interesting. Is there a way that I can maybe like just give money to the project, like is Plex, whatever?
Yeah, so my corporation, Barbican Observatory, is part of the Nexus. Oh my god, I'm having a blank. I'm so ashamed of myself. Nexus Observatory Alliance. I can't speak. It is late for me. I'm sorry. But yes, so Nexus Observatory is an alliance, and Barbican Observatory is the name of my corporation. I'm Barbican Observer, and so if you want to contribute ISK donation or Plagues donation or anything you feel like, maybe some people like to manufacture Tech 1 frigates. We could be a vector to give that away to would-be scanners. And I have a ship replacement program. It is modest, because I can't withstand the giving things away for free forever. But Tech 1 frigates, maybe ISK donations to the corporation, contracts, maybe send me a mail with a contract in it, so I don't have to go look for it. People could also join the bookmarks folder. So we have a chat channel, and that is Nexus Observatory. And when you join, there is a list of links, global information about us, what we try to do. And if you open the bookmark folder from there, you could find, either use that to find a drifter wormhole connection to known space, or you could just use another website. It's an archive website. It has all of the systems where Jove Observatory are. And so if you select, because it is very browsable, if you select a region in this website, you select the region, and then it shows all of the system in that region that have a Jove Observatory. If you visit them in whatever order, I recommend optimizing your destination route. And if you visit them, eventually you'll find a drifter wormhole, and then you could be going in there and scanning, and then making the bookmarks and putting them in our bookmark folders. I call that the inbox, the mailbox for the bookmarks. You're talking to your friends about the project too. We've got other things in the making, data science about drifter stuff.
Nice, and also you can just share this very video by using the share button and the like button. That is also really good, so that people can get like a better coverage, like of the YouTube algorithm. So that's actually really good. You spoke about like this website that you got that is tailor made for the projects, and like it's something that actually will be continuing to be updated. it's like a does it also work a little bit like the one that Signal Cartel has, or is it like something like completely different?
It is not entirely different. It is similar because when one comment I get a lot, and I feel like a little brother. I'm learning recently what it is like to be a little brother, and Signal Cartel would be a big brother in this case. Like, oh, just like Signal Cartel. Yes, we've taken inspiration from Signal Cartel. But we also have some specificities because there's 5 systems. So Signal Cartel has Turner and Thera mapping, but there's much more connections, and there we didn't really have to, but to provide quality of service to the entirety of New Eden, we don't want to give you something that is half-baked. We've been working to make sure that the information you see is of the greatest possible quality. So the website, for now, we're recruiting, and then once we have enough people to provide a decent enough quality of service for, in this case, the first drifter system we're mapping, Barbican, we'll either patch what we find or what people suggest is missing, and then once we have a good hold of that, we'll open. Maybe there is no guarantee this is exactly how in what order it will happen, but eventually you'll be able to log in. And then with the ESI, you log into a CCP website, you go to our site, you log in through there, you choose your character, and it will be able to tell what system you're in. And from there, if you say, I've scanned the signature in this system, you're already in this system. The website knows about it through the ESI. And then you go to, for example, Barbican. And so you were in a system with a Job Observatory. We know that because the database is public. And then you go to Barbican. And so we check that you were there, now you're here. And from Barbican, you go to another system. And this system also have a Job Observatory. So we know that by just you using the site and logging in, we know that there is at least 2 wormholes that you've been through that are going through this system. And this is one other method. We could complement with other methods, such as while you're warping through, let's say you're in one system in known space, you go to Barbican, you copy paste the contents of your probe window in the website. We have a function for that. For now, it's corp members only, because anybody pasting things in there could just be a complete and utter lie, which is counterproductive. But eventually, because your character's name's attached to that, we'll be able to tell if you're lying, or we'll be it's already happened in the past is the reason. So we're making reinforcements to a system that we've seen fail in the past, and this is what I'm skirting around. I'm not giving any names because I don't like naming people, but
That's a good way
if
to
you've
use.
been around, you know who did what.
Yeah.
And so we've been working on that. Security through the website and ESI is one of the reasons that I wasn't able to do that before. And I met, I think when I came back to EVE a couple of months ago, I've almost instantly met a fellow drifter enthusiast that had great web tools skills when it comes to just anything EVE Online or even outside of it. So we've hit it, and then he's made the side. We've agreed on everything you can think about when it comes to security, and we're not close to the idea to letting more people contribute, but we also have to make sure safety of the information we provide. The quality is more important because, again, we don't want you to get shot at, and we're not going to shoot at you, and providing wrong information or outdated information would be similar, and too similar in my opinion, to just letting you get shot at by my own omission. So I don't want that to happen.
Nice.
This is what behind the website.
Awesome. So does actually cover all of our questions. Do you got like any more information that you would like to give the internet?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe talk about Barbican Observatory and Nexus Observatory about to your corp mate. If you're in a big nullsec block or a big wormhole block, maybe talk to you guys about it. You know, I see wormhole guys, but it's quite rare. I see nullsec guys, and they don't really want to talk about it. I know what they're doing, but I understand also that every big block likes to keep their strategic advantages close to them. And while it's not my goal to disrupt that, I don't like very much that everybody does it on their side and they're not sharing. And so I'm here to try and hopefully make that a reality with everybody else's help.
Awesome. Well, thank you a lot for your time, and thank you, Dan. So that's gonna be all for this Chronicle. Thank you, everyone, and see you, Canucks and friend, at the next Chronicles. Au revoir.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye, Canucks and friends.